Now we just wait for the other people to arrive.
Yeah, of course.
So, where are you from?
What's that?
Where are you from?
Phoenix, Arizona.
Cool.
You've been to the States, I'm assuming?
No, not really.
Oh, you haven't? Okay.
No. I'm Brazilian and I'm actually like 100% self-taught in English.
You're 100% what?
Self-taught, like I learned everything by myself.
By yourself. Your English is excellent.
Thanks, dude.
Yeah. We gotta get you up here to visit.
Yeah, I want to go someday.
So you live in São Paulo?
Yeah,
How do you like it there?
I mean, it's a nice city. It's a big city, so like services and stuff like that, we have plenty of. I live in a nice neighborhood too, so violence is not really a problem. I mean, I kind of like it here. I don't think I would be happy living anywhere else, like outside of Brazil,
Okay.
but I definitely want to explore the world.
For sure. And you're like what, 20, 21 years old?
Yeah, 19, almost 20.
Wow. You're a puppy.
Yeah,
Do you live at home with your parents or do you live on your own or
yeah, I live with my parents.
your parents? Okay. Well, I'm glad you live in a safe neighborhood. That's huge.
Yeah, it's like pretty good. I mean, in São Paulo, there's plenty of violence, and I'm glad I'm just not nearby, right?
What's the population of Sao Paulo?
I don't know. I think it's like 11 million, something like that.
Yeah, it's big. It's is it bigger? It's more populous than Rio?
Yeah, for sure. It's the biggest city in Brazil.
Yeah, I figured. Okay. So you speak Portuguese, obviously, self-taught English, any other languages besides that?
Yeah, I know Spanish, and I was also self-taught in it, but I did some Russian classes for a while, and like it was the only language I ever had classes, and I didn't learn shit. So that's fine.
That's funny.
Yeah.
But
So
Spanish probably wasn't too hard because there are a
yeah,
lot of similarities with Portuguese, right?
yeah, Spanish was very easy. So
Yeah.
more people arrived, and I didn't even say hello. Hi,
Oh,
everyone.
I'll shut up then. Sorry about that.
No, not a problem. I just didn't see that people were arriving. Hi, everyone. How y'all doing?
They might be on mute.
Yeah. Okay, I'm just gonna wait like 4 more minutes so I get to 5.
Yeah, we'll start at 5 after. Let the slackers roll in. How's your setup? It looks good, bud. They got the lighting, everything looks nice.
Yeah, dude, it's like a mess here. You have no idea. Like I have to duct tape the phone to a support, and
Yeah.
I have to place like a tiny leather pouch that I have to protect my computer screen. And yeah, but I mean, at least it looks nice, right?
Yeah, nice. Getting it done. Cool. Well, good luck. I look forward to your class. We'll get started at about 5 after, okay?
Okay. So if you guys have any questions during the presentation, you can ask like via the Zoom chat. I think it's easier for me to see. I have it set up like I can read the chat and see the presentation at the same time. So it's a bit easier for me to answer.
Should we mute ourselves so that background noise doesn't get into the video?
I mean, your mic, I don't think it's too noisy, but if the person like has a very noisy mic, it's better to do that, but you don't need to.
I have a dog, and if like anything,
Yeah,
she'll
yeah,
start
that thing.
barking. So
We'll have a little Q&A at the end too, John, so you can ask some questions at the end as well.
Yeah.
okay, perfect. I'll mute for now, just out of respect for everybody.
What kind of dog do you have?
She's a little 7-pound Maltese.
Nice.
She's pretty cute.
Yeah, they're loud.
She can get a little yappy sometimes.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys haven't seen my cat, right? I think I just showed her the first presentation. Let me show you. Just a sec.
Where are you at, John? Where are you from?
Phoenix, Arizona.
Here she is,
Okay.
guys.
And Pete,
Say hi
you're one
to
of the
her.
Colorado guys, right?
Nice. Yeah, nice cat. There she is. Yeah, I am. I'm in Colorado. I'm from Colorado. That's how Ryan and I know each other, but I live in Ecuador.
You broke up. You live where?
In Ecuador.
Oh, Ecuador. Damn.
Yeah.
How are you liking it down there?
I love it. Yeah, it's great. It's a really good time. It's been good to us.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Is there a short story around how you got down there, or is there not enough time to get into all that right now?
Yeah, we did. Actually, me and Ryan are going to talk about. We're going to have that a little bit of that talk coming up here after this chat.
On the background deal. Okay.
Yeah,
Perfect.
but basically, I came in here on vacation and ended up buying a bar on vacation, and then we moved here, and that was 13 years ago next week. So.
Oh wow, I have a similar story to tell you later about Italy, but it ended up not working out. So.
Yeah, we'll catch up.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, cool.
You're on.
All right. So this is the third class, the blockchain basics classes I've been given. And today's theme will be like cryptocurrency wallets and how secure is like 256-bit encryption really. So, okay. Let's start with what are crypto wallets? Well, let's first understand like what they do. Contrary to what most people believe, these wallets, they do not actually store your crypto. Like your Bitcoin or Ethereum is not like inside the app on your phone or that Ledger wallet, the Trezor wallet. If you remember from the first classes, if you want to interact with a blockchain, you need to sign in your transactions with a secret key, and they can be verified that they were signed by you with your public key, right? And among other things, the wallet stores our keys and allows us to use those keys to interact with the blockchain. And it also contains an address that people can use to send you coins and stuff like that. Okay, so let's first understand hot versus cold wallets. The difference is actually very simple. Hot wallets, they are connected to the internet, and cold wallets are not. But I mean, there are a bit of benefits to one and downsides to the other. Hot wallets are more commonly associated with like a full package of services. Most hot wallets, if you open up like Trust Wallet, for example, they have an exchange, or it's kind of a hot wallet, right? If you store your crypto in Binance or KuCoin or on Coinbase, they have a whole services, right? You can buy, you can sell. Some apps you can even stake and yield farm, you know. However, those wallets, they are more vulnerable to hacks, right? It's pretty obvious you're connected to the internet, so you're susceptible to a bunch of attacks and hacks and stuff like that. Some services will actually use a mix of both hot and cold wallets. They will store your crypto in cold wallets, and then they will transfer it to hot wallets whenever you want to make those transactions that need to be connected to the internet. I think like the actual working of the Trust Wallet app is like this, but I couldn't find anything more conclusive. Okay, that's nice. Now let's understand a bit. Okay, slow down, sorry. All right. Software wallets. Let's think a little bit about software wallets too. Most of them will actually be connected to the internet in some way, right? And we have three big categories of software wallets. We have web wallets, that is a website or a web app that stores your keys in crypto. In the old days, I think this was more common, like a website that you could store, you would transfer your Bitcoin to there, and it would be stored in that website, and you could access it in anywhere in the internet. But nowadays, it's not that common. I think there are desktop wallets that store your keys in a specific file in your computer. Usually, that will be like a file that it saves called wallet.dat, and that file is very, very encrypted, right? So that someone that hacks your computer, they do not have access, only you have a password and stuff like that. And there are mobile wallets, like it's the same thing that they do on desktop, but on your phone. So examples of these are like MetaMask and Trust Wallet and stuff like that. One thing that it's always nice to say is that if you don't control the keys to your coins, they are not actually your coins, right? The person that is controlling those coins could vanish at any time. If you're storing it in the exchange, for example, they could be hacked and you lose everything. They could be a scam and you lose everything. So not your keys, not your coins. It's always important to remember. And these kinds of wallets, they are still susceptible to malware and hacks and stuff like that. For example, a while ago, I think there was a bad app for the Ronin wallet, which is the wallet for the Axie Infinities, like whole game thing, and it was directly on the Play Store. Like, you would think that it's the real thing, but it doesn't have an app just now. But like some hackers made a fake Ronin wallet and they posted it to Play Store. So everyone was downloading it and they were losing all their coins because of these malware and stuff like that. Also, if you were to get hacked on your computer, those would be still susceptible to these types of hacks. Okay, now let's go a bit to the hardware wallets, which are things like this, right? This is a ledger wallet. And they are physical devices that store and generate your keys with like complicated random number algorithms. I think like the Ledger wallet, they have a specific chip that is created just to do that, just to generate those random numbers. And this means that because they're not on your computer, they're not connected to the internet, they have way better protection from internet attacks and malware. But if the firmware, like the software that connects the physical wallet to your computer is bad, it's badly programmed, it can also be attacked, right? Maybe a hacker could intercept the path between the physical wallet to your computer, and they could still steal your keys, and then they would control all your crypto. And one thing that's very important with these wallets is that you need to pay a lot of attention to where you buy them, right? Here in Brazil, we have a site called Mercado Livre, and it's like eBay, right? And a lot of people were selling like hacked Ledger wallets for cheap. It was like a third of the price, and people would buy them. They would put their Bitcoin on the wallet, and then they would try to sell it, and they couldn't sell it, right? Because it was gone. They would wake up with like very bad news. They would say, well, to the watch, they would say like, I lost all of our savings, right? You have to be very careful from where you buy them, okay? I would recommend you only buy them from the original website if you can. Not all countries have this, but it's way safer, right? Okay, now let's talk a bit about a funny thing that is paper wallets. That once upon a time, like in the beginnings, people used physical paper to print a QR code like this thing right here that had the private and public keys of the coins. This was done mostly at the very early stage of crypto. Well, most people didn't even know that Bitcoin was a thing, right? And so you could like carry this around and most people wouldn't even know what to do with it if they got it. It's a huge vulnerability, right? We all know that if someone steals your wallet, they have all the keys and they control everything. And it's also very impractical with this this particular type of wallet, you can only send the entire balance that is stored there at once. You cannot send like one part at a time. So this is mostly used like for random giveaways. You print like a bill, like a $100 bill, but instead of being worth like $100, you put in 10 Bitcoins and you can use that. But no one really uses that, right? It makes no practical sense. Okay, now let's get a bit more advanced and let's talk about multi-signature wallets. Well, if you go back, you will see that most wallets, they only use one key, right? One secret key. What if we use more? What if we use two, three, four keys? And well, we can make it need all the keys to authorize the transaction, or we can make it like use only a part of the keys. So if you have 3 keys, it could only need 2. If you have 4, it could only need like 2 or 3. Okay, nice. So this makes it more secure to attacks, obviously, because if a hacker like manages to get hold of one of the keys, or a thief like steal one of the keys from you, they still would have to get at least one more, right? If you have only 2 needed keys. And it's better for shared custody, right? If you're a company, for example, holding Bitcoin, you don't want to put it in one of those services that use like Coinbase, for example. They can store crypto for institutions. If you don't want to use that, you can, instead of having just one key that everyone has, you can have like 10 keys, and at least, for example, 8 people have to approve a transaction to be made. But a downside of this kind of wallet is that it requires a lot of technical knowledge still, especially if you don't want to do without trusting, if you want to do it without trusting third parties, right? Because the software for that is still very, difficult to use. I searched a bit, and most wallets with multi-signature, they require you to do some work, right? It's not as easy as like downloading the Trust Wallet app in your phone. You download it, you can use everything from there, and you just don't have to do any work. You have to study to not screw up and stuff like that. Okay, now let's talk a bit about keeping your coin safe, which is, I think, one of the most important parts of these classes. Firstly, you do not ever share your private key, not to anyone. No one like legitimate will ask you for that. No website will need that. No exchange will need that. Nothing. In most wallets, your secret key is represented by a sequence of 12 words that is used to generate that key. And as I said, not a single honest person or service will ever ask you for those. One good tip also is to always keep many copies stored in different places with a seed phrase. Right. So me, for example, I have three different copies, and I started in 3 different places. Here in Brazil, sadly, we don't have those safe deposit boxes in the banks, but I started like in different places. And that way, like if your house burns down or your phone breaks, your coins are still accessible, right? You don't lose access to them. Okay. Now let's think about the most common scams also. Unfortunately, as crypto grows in market cap and number of users, so does the number of scams, right? There are websites that look exactly like the original site. PancakeSwap, for example, had a big problem with this, I think. There were like 10, 20 websites that were just like PancakeSwap, but at some point they would ask you for the seed phrase in order to continue the process. They would pretend like they were the legit exchange, but it just wouldn't work if you don't type your seed phrases. And as soon as you do that, they would like wipe out your wallet and your coins would be gone. As I mentioned earlier, many resellers will actually modify hardware wallets with malware. They would put virus in it and steal your coins. And sometimes celebrities get hacked and they end up tweeting or posting scams too. I don't know if you remember, but earlier in this bull run, I think like even Elon Musk was hacked, and he was posting one of those scams that were saying like, give me 2 Bitcoin and I will give you 6 Bitcoin back, or something like that. But there are also like scams that those celebrities, they end up posting like fake websites that would store your crypto, and you would type your seed phrase on them. Okay. Now, let's talk a bit about what happens if you lose a wallet. We've all seen those stories of the guy that lost his PC with the keys, and he lost like 10,000 Bitcoin, and now it's worth like over $5 million or something like that. If you have copies with your seed phrase, then it's all fine, right? You can still access it. As you said, as you've seen earlier, the coins are actually stored in the wallet, and the wallet just acts as a medium for you to interact with the coins and the blockchain. And you can just use that seed phrase and import it back into a computer, another like hardware wallet, phone app, or something like that. You can just use the backup you had. But if you don't have backups, then you probably lose them all. If you don't have backups, the only way you could do it is like if a thief stole your phone with your keys there, the only way would be to the thief to return your phone. Okay, now I think this is a very personal thing, which is which wallet should I use? It depends really. Like in almost everything in life, in almost everything you should use or buy, it depends, right? Unfortunately, one of the things you have to trade is like ease of use with security. If you're actively interacting with many exotic altcoins and protocols, a hardware wallet like Ledger may not be for you because they may not support a different blockchain or a different protocol, or you go like into the website for staking that coin and the website doesn't support Trezor or something like that. Then you will probably be better off with like MetaMask and Trust Wallet, and you just need to be real sure that you are downloading the real app, right? You do not want to download a fake app, and there are many. If you just want to hodl and like take your coin security to the max, the best thing you could do, right, is to use a multi-signature wallet or a hardware wallet like Electrum or Ledger. They're both great, right? But you are not limited to using just one, right? You can use like your hardware wallet for something like a long-term hodl, and use a Trust Wallet app for just investing in those shit coins, those Ponzi scheme almost things. And you can use a blend of those two, right? And think about what's more important to you. It's the best thing you can do. Okay. Now, this is the part that is very interesting in my opinion, which is the security of 256-bit encryption. Now, let's remember why this is important. Remembering a bit about the first class, cryptocurrency have this name cryptocurrencies because they use cryptographic functions for both signing transactions and, in the case of the proof of work, cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and currently Ethereum, they use cryptographic functions for the consensus mechanism, right? So Bitcoin specifically, it uses SHA-256, which is a 256-bit hash function that, despite we have no mathematical demonstration that is irreversible, that you cannot undo the function, that I don't know if you guys can see my mouse. Let me just use the annotate function. Okay, spotlight. Okay, you can see my mouse now. You can do this path. You can turn like Crypto Garden into this and then convert to binary to this, but you cannot do this path. You cannot do like take this number and then do this and do this. You can only go one way, right? Okay. But well, let's think about the security of this 256-bit encryption bit. Let's start with the absolute number of possibilities that there are. For SHA-256, the total amount of possible combinations is 2 to the power of 256. This means that since the function is only one way, you have no better way of finding the original information than simply guessing random numbers until you arrive at that information, right? You have to just guess one by one until you get to the number you want. 2 to the 256 is approximately 115 quator vigintillion, which is like a number we don't even know, right? I don't think anyone here has heard that number before, which is 115 followed by 75 zeros. Okay, now that's a huge number, right? No one can even imagine a number so big. So let's break it down in smaller number. let's see how much does it take to crack this code. One nice thing about this number is that it is equal to 2 to the 32 to the power of 8, which is approximately 4 billion to the power of 8. Okay, now 4 billion is like a number we can kind of picture, right? You can see like there are people with this amount of money. There are more people than that in the world. Okay, all we have to do is multiply this number we know by itself 8 times in a row. Okay, now let's remember a thing about mining, that we mostly use GPUs since they can perform like a lot of computations in parallel and they are really fast. Well, a really good GPU, of course, it depends on the protocol and stuff like that, but a really good GPU can make around 1 billion of these calculations per second, okay? Okay, cool. So what? Now let's imagine that we managed to like cram 4 of those GPUs in a single computer. We are calculating 4 billion hashes per second per computer, right? So one of those 2 to the 32 is done. We need 7 to go. Cool. Now imagine we managed to group 4 billion of these computers. So just for you guys to picture the size of 4 billion of these computers, even though Google, they don't make their server numbers public, the estimates have like in the millions range, like 10 million or 100 million, with far less powerful PCs, right? They don't have the best possible hardware in every single computer. Okay, so now we have 6 left. Nice. There's still a lot left. We have almost 8 billion people on our planet, right? Now let's imagine that almost half of all people living here has one of these incredibly powerful servers. Not just a computer, but one of these incredibly powerful servers like a Google filled with hugely powerful computer. Okay, now we have 5 left. Now the Milky Way has approximately 100 to 400 billion stars. Imagine a full 1%, which is a lot, right? Imagine 1% of these stars has a planet just like the planet we just imagined, which has 4 billion people, each with 4 billion powerful PCs. Okay, now we have 4 left. Now imagine we have 4 billion copies of this theoretical Milky Way. Okay, now we have 3 left. At this point, we're approximately calculating 2 to the 160 guesses per second. Okay, but there's still a lot left. It doesn't look like it, 2 to the 160, kind of close to 256, right? But it's not. How long? Let's see, how long would it take, right? Well, 4 billion seconds is about 126.8 years. If you multiply that by 4 billion, we have now 500 billion years, right? Which is almost 40 times the entire age of the universe. Okay, now let's think about this number, and there's still one left, right? If you had 4 billion galaxies, each packed with 4 billion planets, with 4 billion humans, with 4 billion supercomputers running for 40 times the age of the universe, your chances to find the correct number would still be about 1 in 4 billion, which is obviously like really low, right? It's lower than winning the lottery or something like that. Okay, so it's really, really secure. And now we've come full circle, and since we know that the amount of work is so huge, and there's like financial incentive to explore the weaker link, which is still theoretically like the function of being one way, because if someone found a way to reverse SHA-256, they would instantly hack Bitcoin, and they could like earn billions in a second, right? But the main concern now is if you lose your coins, right? You place your coins in a scam, or you buy a virus wallet or something like that. So this is why you should care so much about the security of your coins and stuff like that. And well, that's about it. It was kind of short, but I mean, the math took a bit of a long time, right? Anyone has any questions?
Tchello, this is Jesse. You there? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for the presentation. I appreciate it. I've got all sorts of questions about wallets and coins, and you said some things that surprised me, really, honestly, to be honest with you. And the first question that I have that you said was, Yeah, okay, so I understand that if you're buying Bitcoin through ETFs through big financial institutions, that relieves you of all risks, right? You don't own any Bitcoin, you buy into the whatever that ETF is, and they manage it and sell it and blah blah blah, right? But then we have these exchanges that we can buy into. And you said if we don't have the security keys on these exchanges, say if I buy through Coinbase, then I still don't own those coins, right?
Yeah.
That's interesting. Okay, and then so I have a wallet ID at Coinbase that says I own 1 Bitcoin, and if I want to move that Bitcoin off to my hard storage on my ledger, then do I own that Bitcoin once I move it from Coinbase onto my hard storage?
Yeah. Once it is on your wallet, then it's yours. Like if it's stored on Coinbase and like Coinbase goes broke, or the CEO just goes missing with all the storage of Bitcoin they have, you just lost your coins, right? But if it is on your wallet, no one can hack it. As you just saw, like the amount of effort someone would need to hack it is just immense.
Okay. Good. Now I'm just trying to understand, and I'm not technical at all, right? I'm trying to understand. So that wallet ID just captures the quantity of Bitcoin that I own. That's it, right? That's all it is.
I think it is. I mean, I'm not familiar with Coinbase specifically because I use Binance. But yeah, well, if it's like an account of in an exchange, it just stores how much you have. It doesn't store that it's yours, like in a more like deep down sense.
And and then the ledger on the blockchain confirms that I guess I don't own it necessarily yet if it's still on Coinbase until I move it.
Yeah, until you move it to like Trust Wallet or MetaMask, you don't actually own it.
Right. But I did move some Bitcoin from Coinbase to BlockFi. So BlockFi then still technically owns that Bitcoin, but it's just in my BlockFi wallet.
Yeah.
True. Okay. But you can earn. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm getting off track here, but I'm just trying to understand. I get the wallet IDs and I understand that part, how you can move them from exchange to exchange and all that good stuff. I was just surprised to know that I don't own those coins, even though, they're mine on the exchanges, until I actually move it off those exchanges into a wallet. That's interesting.
Yeah, it's kind of like banks, right? If you have like all your money in a bank and the bank just goes bankrupt, of course there are regulations and stuff like that. But if there weren't any regulations, if the bank just goes bankrupt and they go missing with everyone's money, you just lost all your money, right? But if you like withdraw all your money and store it under your mattress, then the bank goes missing, then you still have your money.
That makes sense. So until I withdraw the cash, like withdrawing cash is like putting it on your hard storage.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks.
Any other questions?
So I have a question for you. In your research, are you seeing companies trying to collaborate between all the different wallets? Because right now you basically have to have several different wallets to kind of get the most bang for the buck and keeping coins in different spots. So for example, I just saw Solana come out with a project that's going to have NFTs go across all the different platforms: ETH, Binance, ADA. They're on Sol. So are you seeing that more in the little research that you did for this today? Were you seeing projects trying to lean towards like crossing protocols?
Yeah, like Trust Wallet, it is compatible with almost anything, right? It is a phone app. In Android, it's a bit better because you can interact with the smart contracts directly from the app. In iOS, because of Apple regulations, they think that running an app inside the app is like bad for you. So because it's running like unverified code, And so on Apple, on iPhone, you can do that, but on Android, it's pretty gay. But there's one thing that's pretty cool that I've been seeing a lot more of, which is Wallet Connect. It just shows like a QR screen on your phone or your computer that you scan with your wallet app, and many of the apps support this, like the smaller wallet apps, and Trust Wallet also supports it. But it's kind of very early, right? Because even the Trust Wallet app, which is like one of the biggest wallet apps, I think it's like even developed by Binance, I think. When you try to scan the QR code, like the app freezes and you have to restart and try again until you do it right. But I mean, we are kind of getting to a point where you just grab your phone and scan a QR code and it's immediately compatible with all coins, but we're not quite there yet, I think.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, I personally use just Trust Wallet because I'll mostly do the things that require me to use a wallet in my phone. But yeah, I keep I keep a lot of different copies of the seed phrase in different places. If you're keeping it on your phone, that's the safest place to be, I think. But yeah, Trust Wallet for me is just the easiest. I really don't need that much safety. I don't have that much money, right? But if you're someone that's investing like huge sums of money, or like you invested your life savings into Bitcoin, then you would surely go for a safer alternative, right?
And then just one other comment then. So you really wouldn't use cold hard wallets unless you were hodling long term. You know what I mean? So anything you're holding for, I don't know, 2 to 6 months, it'd be more of a pain in the ass to get it onto a wallet.
Yeah, especially if you're like interacting with different protocols, it just gets annoying too. Every time you need to sign a transaction, you gotta place the little stick.
Yeah. So long-term hold, you definitely want to consider using a hard wallet. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Ben, was talking about some cold storage that's you're going to be able to stake with some cold storage, and that blows my mind. I don't know how you would do that, but
yeah, I'm not sure too. But yeah, that sounds very interesting. Wallets to avoid, I don't know. I think like you have to research the functions and compare it to the other wallets. Depends on like the coins you're holding, if the protocols you're interacting, like if you're interacting with X Infinity, the only way you can go is with the rolling wallet. The only way, you cannot do it any other way, I think. It depends on what you're doing, right? The wallet to avoid is the wallet that you won't use, you don't know how to use, or that isn't compatible with the things you need.
It's funny. It's kind of scary to download it or take your wallets off of an exchange and put it on a hard wallet. You know what I mean? To take that step. I've got ledgers. I've got a Nano and I've got a Ledger X, but I haven't quite pulled the trigger yet of putting them on there because I've got my keys and I can open it and do it, but I just haven't pulled the trigger on that yet. Yeah, it's
yeah, I feel you. It's be very scary.
It's like taking your financial responsibility.
Yeah, and also like you always have like the number showing on your Binance or Coinbase screen, and suddenly it's all in like a little USB stick. It can be quite scary.
Cool, thanks.
All right, but I don't think there's any more questions out there. That was awesome. Nailed it. Cool. So thank you, and we'll see you next week. Good job.
Yeah.
Tchello, thanks. That was awesome.
Nice, guys. So one announcement I also have is that from the next week, like from this Tuesday, the classes will be on Tuesday. It will be like essentially the same time. I may have to like push it 1 hour further, but almost the same time, I think. I'll update you with that, but from now on, classes will be on Tuesdays.
All right, perfect. Thanks, bud.
Okay, that was nice. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody.